Yo, what is going on, guys? So this tip video that I'm bringing you here is going to be slightly different than most of my tip videos, right? Typically, I go really in depth with, how I think you guys should be running. This one is going to be a little bit different because I just want to go over a scheme, and the scheme in general is out of the West Coast playbook, and this is why I think the majority of people that are using West Coast playbook are simply doing it wrong. So everybody knows when you're facing gun bunch, the best defenses are either 146 or 236 Will slash Sam, whichever one you like to go with. You will see other people use other defenses for sure, but these are the main two defenses people will use. As the year has kind of progressed, 146 has been not necessarily easier to pick up, but you typically got to move your linebackers back when using 146, which is why people are now going to 236 Will. Same concept though, right? So the concept that people are using is they're bringing the players in. So I'm just going to call a random offensive play for now, right? So typically what happens when you are in 146 is you have to blitz the linebackers, you got to move both slot corners in, you got to move the safeties down, and then you typically at this point in the year have to move at least one, if not both, of these linebackers back. You do that because it makes it harder to pick the blitz up, right? Now, why not take all those pre-snap defensive adjustments away from you? Because keep in mind, you have to do all that and also change your coverage. So what I've done and what I've started to do over the last week or so is when I'm in West Coast Playbook, I am coming out in the single back spread. So single back spread is in West Coast, and the way that I actually set this up is I put deep outs as an audible, I put double post as an audible. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm just quick snapping them. So I have four verts, I have double post, and I have deep outs, and then the running play is an alert bubble that can go to both sides. So what I've done offensively out of this book is I've kind of transitioned away from just running gun bunch or just running near flex close, and I've went to this spread style of an offense that allows me to audible around and still put the same type of pressure on my opponent. So let me explain this to you. So I'll also set up audibles out of the double Y open, and I'll just go ahead and I'll tell you those audibles now. So when I'm running this, I have the PA slot crosses, the halfback dive, and then I will also put in the Y cross flood. Just something that I like to do. Now, typically when I'm audibling to this formation, I'm either audibling and doing the halfback dive, audibling straight to four verts, or the PA slot cross. But then you can also audible over to the single back doubles flex. And for this, I put the stretch dive. And then my audibles here are going to be, where's it at? Z spot. And then I use PA double post. And then I go into the single back doubles north. And I set my audibles up for this one as slot corner, ace power, wide receiver corner, PA rollout. Now, I'm not going to get into the full offensive scheme here, right? That's going to be for another video I'm going to be dropping in terms of how to actually pass out of all of these sets. But I just wanted to go ahead and I wanted to stress to you guys the importance of coming out in a spread set like that and then audibling up to your gun bunch audibles, right? So you can set up gun bunch a million different ways, right? These are the typical ones that I set up. Now, throughout the course of a game, if I do want to run stick, I will set that as an audible. If I want to run deep attack, I'll set that as an audible. If I want to run mesh spot or corner strike, I'll also set those as audibles just throughout the game, right? You got to play with your opponent's tendencies. So let's go ahead and talk about how this works. So in single back spread, you have four receivers, right? So that's another thing that you can do that really puts more pressure on your opponent, right? So you have a bunch of different packages, whether it's stack strong, stack weak, or strong slots that will get players into different positions. Now, let's go ahead and just come out in four verts. So, as I mentioned, your typical defense people are going to try on this is going to be 146. So look how spread out they are, right? So in order to do anything out of 146, they're going to have to move this guy in, they're going to have to move this guy in, They're going to have to bring this safety down, and then to really, set it up to be good bunch defense, you got to move both of these guys back. That's a ton of adjustments considering we haven't even talked about changing up the coverage, right? So, as soon as they do this, right, say they get everything set up, what I like to just audible to, I just audible to the zone alert bubble and just quick pass a little bubble screen up there, right? So you have the bubble up to both sides and nobody moves. There's no tell on which side you're going to. So as long as you know where their user is, and in 146 you typically do, right? So typically they're going to move these guys in, and then they will play on a safety like down here, right? So say they do something like this. Well, you can't play in the box right here because you can't stop the bubbles. So say you're on this left-hand side, I could just flip the play, throw the bubble, opposite side. Now, you have good receivers out here, 99 speed receivers in Mutt, or if you play with the Chiefs and Regs and you got Tyreek in the slot and Hardman in the slot, a bubble screen like that is a touchdown. So I just wanted to emphasize how crazy that is. That's going to eliminate their ability to move those corners in. Now, say they don't. Say they just say, screw it, they leave the guys out there. Well, typically when they're going to do that, they're going to be typically in a cover 3. So let's go ahead, remain a line. I don't know what happened with the coverage here, but typically they're going to move one of these guys in, right? So this is actually the wrong guy, so I'm just going to make the adjustment here. So this will be something that they do, right? So they would come out, cover 3, they'll move one guy in. Well, typically after that, they're going to come down in the box, try to play hide and seek with you. Well, 4 verts is going to absolutely destroy this because you can just pass lead it to the inside to both sides. So they can't then take their safety and play one of the 2 bubbles because you've got 2 verts going right at the middle. The other thing that they really can't do is they can't be in any sort of, cover 3. So here we go, we back in cover 3. So here we go, we do this. They move one guy in, now they come down into the box. Well, now we can audible over to the deep outs play because the deep outs are going to give us the out routes to both sides. Not only do we have the out routes, we also then have the quick passes over the middle of the field. So let's go ahead and show that real quick. So say they come out, they do an adjustment like this. Right? So they just put 4 verts in the field. Something like that. So now you have the deeper post, which you can trigger a diving catch if you throw it a little bit later. You also have a drag underneath. So you are just completely, in my opinion, you are completely taking away their ability to run 146 against you. Now, also, out of this little scheme, you can audible over. So, like I said, you can audible over to the doubles wide open. Now you have a halfback dive that they have to respect. You also, on this, have your 4 verts. You also have PA slot crosser, where you have the glitchy crossing route right here. So you could do something like this, and then you can motion this guy in, put him on a slant, and now you've got the cross over the middle field, the slant that you can lowball. You've got a bunch of different options. That's very similar to the strong close scheme that you have, right? Now, that's, like I said, that was just that. You can also go here. You have a deeper post that they have to respect, so they can't just ignore that, right? A soft squad will get destroyed by this. Now, you can also audible over to single back doubles flex. So double flex, you have a dive. You have a stretch that can go to both sides of the field, right? So a stretch is crazy. Now, you also have Z-spot, which is the good tight end route. So in case they're not respecting that, you could do something like this, where you could lowball that tight end route. You've got the deep end coming back behind it. And then the PA double post, you have the glitchy deep post to the left side of the field over there as well. So you have a ton of different passing routes out of these sets that are there mainly just to annoy 146. This is going to get your opponent out of those type of defenses. Now, once you get your opponent into the 3-4s, that's when you say, all right, and audible your way back up to your gun bunch. The thing that you can also do with this, right? So obviously you can audible to gun bunch, but gun bunch is very hash mark dependent. So say you want to come out in, I'm going to go ahead and just move the hash real quick. So say we throw a pass to the right side of the field right here, or we run something like that, right? Well, now, if we know that we want to run to the opposite hash, we can just flip our play, right? So we can come out in this, whatever play we want. Say we come out in deep outs, we can flip it. Now when we audible up to gun bunch, everything's basically set up. It allows you the ability to quickly quick hike your opponent and also still be on those hash marks that you really want. So see, you audible up, max protect, delay fade, boom, now you're good to go, right? So now as I just took the sack, but you get the point of this, and that's really what I wanted to focus on in this little talk through, because I do think that this is the way that you can mostly maximize your gun bunch, because gun bunch is really difficult to stop in its own right, but why play to the defense's strength? We know by now that 1-4-6, if you're good out of it and you can mix up your coverages and who's rushing and who's not rushing, it can really be a headache. Is the same really said for 3-4 though? That's something that you got to think about, right? I haven't seen anybody defend gun bunch out of a 3-4, not effectively at least. Now I'm sure there might be some people out there that think that they really can defend gun bunch, and I question that, right? 3-4, it's very easy to pick up, especially with max protects and rollouts. Now, I do think that this will change the way people are playing against gun bunch. I think you'll see a lot more people go to the nickel over Gs or the nickel normals, but those defenses right there are a lot easier to deal with than a good defensive player using 1-4-6 or 2-3-6 Will/Sam, right? So just something I wanted to talk about real quick in this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm going to show some game clips of me using this against K-Mac the other night. Now, I will preface that it was a random seasons game. There was no money on the line. It was MUT. But I wanted to show in the clip or in this video how you can kind of play with a good defensive player and a good professional player's head with this type of a scheme, right? Because it forces you to be a lot quicker on your adjustments, right? So if you do want to be in 1-4-6, you have to be quick. You have to make your adjustments really easy, and one wrong adjustment is a touchdown. So you'll see those clips coming up next. I'm not going to talk through them. I'm not going to explain anything. But like I said, I hope you guys liked the video. If you want me to break down all of these passing plays that I mentioned out of this, I will. Just let me know in the comments. Please also like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff, guys. And hope you guys are having a good night. See you tomorrow.